There's a new Souls-like action RPG coming to the market, and you're not going to want to turn a blind eye to it. In fact, you might as well say goodbye to your whispering eye because I can't do it. Now that I've been demonetized, let's talk Mortal Shell. In this video, we're going to go over everything that we know about this intense upcoming action RPG. We'll talk about when it's releasing, on which platforms, and who is making it, and then we'll get into what we know about the shells, combat, the campaign, and more. After that, I'm going to leave you guys with some combat gameplay that you probably haven't seen before, for this game used to have a different name in its earlier stages of development, so you're definitely going to want to stick around for that. If you guys end up enjoying this video, please subscribe, for there will be more Mortal Shell videos on the way. Let's get right into it.
Mortal Shell.
Mortal Shell is an upcoming action RPG, and if I had to compare it to other games right now, I would say it's very Souls-like. That's Dark Souls for those of you who might not know. Mortal Shell is set to release in Q3 of 2020, and I got good news. It will be coming out on PC, PS4, and you guessed it, PS3. I'm just kidding, it's coming out on Xbox. Can we all finally put aside our differences and come together for a promising looking game? Probably not, but it's still pretty great that everyone will be able to experience this game, except Nintendo and Stadia. But who cares about them? Stop taking me seriously, guys. I have a Nintendo Switch. So a Q3 release date means somewhere around July, August, and September, for those of you who can't do math. That's pretty sweet, guys. There's not much going on in the console world, or really in the gaming world in general, until the new consoles come out, so the game will be releasing at a great time to hold many of us over. Mortal Shell is being developed by a newly announced indie studio called Cold Symmetry, and being published by PlayStack, who have published a lot of games that I really don't know what the hell they are, but they look cool. Cold Symmetry was formed in 2017 and is made up of a coalition of veteran developers who are said to be credited with working on some of the biggest AAA titles on the market. The core team of Cold Symmetry started off with just 2 to 4 people, and now they said they have around 15 people working on the game at any given time. That's crazy, but it's awesome. One of my favorite RPGs is called Outward, which was made by a team of 9 people, and it was better than most of the huge AAA RPG games that released over the past 5 years. Outward fans, you let yourself be known below in the comments. It seems that this company has been working hard and passionately on this game for over 2 years now, and I think they deserve at least a fair chance from us. So now let's talk about what the actual game is, and I'm going to quote Cold Symmetry here. Awakening as an empty vessel, you will enter into a shattered and twisted world where the remains of humanity wither and rot. Implored to do the bidding of the mysterious Dark Father, you must traverse this tattered landscape and track down hidden sanctums of devout followers. There, in Mortal Shell's most hallowed grounds, you must overcome formidable foes and harvest the sacred glands. You won't be truly alone when the dead litter your path. Scattered across this land are the remnant anima of lost warriors who can be inhabited to gain their unique abilities and knowledge of weapons. The Dark Father is desperate for you to complete your task, but to what end? That sounds pretty sick, but what does that really entail? Shells. So in Mortal Shell, you will be discovering shells to suit your playstyle. These shells will be the lost remains of defeated warriors. Once you awaken these mortal shells, you can some way or another essentially occupy their bodies and learn new and different forms of combat. These shells will offer different playstyles, so you can find one that best suits you, and they will have their own unique mastery of skills and weapon upgrades. This is really cool, guys, and it seems like this will be one of the main features that separates this game from others. Now at the core, it's got those traditional RPG aspects. The shells seem to essentially be different classes, and weapon upgrades and mastery of skills is nothing new. But I certainly can't think of a game that I've played before where I actually was seeking the bodies of fallen warriors to somehow become what they once were. The way they are seemingly implementing these core RPG aspects is really unique sounding. Combat. The combat will certainly be similar to Dark Souls in many ways, and I'll quote Cold Symmetry again. Combat is strategic and deliberate. Survival demands superior awareness, precision, and instincts. You must commit your sword only when an opportunity opens. Calculate your parries to unleash devastating counter blows. If I had to describe Dark Souls combat, I would have said exactly that. But once again, it definitely doesn't look like a Dark Souls clone, so to say. It seems to be similar to Dark Souls in terms of difficulty and timing and dodging out of the way, but we saw some unique looking attacks and styles of combat that is hinting that this game will likely offer a new exciting experience. And to be honest with you guys, I wish every RPG game would use Dark Souls as their inspiration. Souls combat is some of the most polished, best feeling combat I have ever experienced. Campaign and world. So Mortal Shell will offer a non-linear campaign. What this means to me is, even if it's not an open world so to say, which I don't believe it is, you will still not be forced to follow one path in the game. As far as the order of bosses go, I would assume you would be able to fight some of them out of order, but to what extent, I do not know. Cold Symmetry says we will draw our own paths across marsh-infested lowlands, through a gargantuan cathedral of obsidian rock, and into an ancient crypt frozen into the crest of a mountain. The gameplay showing in my video right now, I'm assuming, is the old rendering of the Cathedral of Obsidian Rock. The way they worded these environments leads me to believe that those will be the 3 main areas in the game, and if I had to guess, I would say you can choose to go into any one of these 3 areas, but then within those areas you will follow some sort of order. That's just my guess though. Upgrade paths. There will definitely be some sort of progression system for each shell that you inhabit, for they say the stronger your connection to each mortal shell grows, the better you can harness their innate talents. Does this mean there will be experience points with each of the shells, or have they created a new different type of system? I'm not sure, but I like it. We will be crafting unique upgrades, sharpening our blades with acid, and studying dark arcane abilities to imbue our attacks with supernatural devastation. I think this is really where the game's combat will separate itself from others in the genre. We saw a large variety of playstyles or shells in the announcement trailer, and at the end of the video I'll show you guys what seems to be one specific shell in action. So these upgrade paths look like they'll probably add a lot to the shells and just be a lot of fun. Enemies. It's obvious that the foes we face will probably be the core of the game. Many RPG games mix exploration with questing and gathering materials. I don't think that's what Mortal Shell will be known for. More so, we'll likely be going into an area, always on our toes and constantly fighting for our lives. Whether it be a humanoid looking boss or hordes of zombie looking dead creatures, I don't really plan on expecting this game to be relaxing so to say. I could be wrong. Now it's time for some more gameplay footage, and I'll get out of the video and let you guys just watch. But first let me say that this gameplay is from mid-2018, and it actually looks really good for a game in its earlier stages of development. Now in 2020, the team is larger and they've had a year and a half plus more to work on it. This is really promising. I appreciate you guys watching, and let me know your thoughts on Mortal Shell below in the comments. I'm very curious. Enjoy the gameplay, and I'll see you guys on a future video.